Hello, Gabby Turner here. Welcome to this pick a card reading in which we're going to ask, what are their sweet and sour thoughts of you? So kind of like, what do they feel happy about regarding you? Like, what are their positive thoughts of you? But also maybe what are their frustrations or things that maybe they don't like as much? So the sweet and sour thoughts of you from your person of interest. We have 3 goddesses here you can choose from. Group number 1 is Goddess Oya. I'm sorry the light is hitting kind of weird. It's like lighting the bottom half of the screen more. But this is group number 1, Oya. Group number 2 is Bast. And group number 3 is Nut. So we have Oya, Bast, and Nut. Number 1. Number 2, and number 3, and the timestamps will be below with the names of each of these goddesses as well to make it a little bit easier for you. So go ahead and tune into your intuition about which reading is calling out to you, and I will see you at your reading. All right, welcome group number 1. You chose Goddess Oya, and again, I'm sorry about the lighting. It's just, this is what happens when you're in natural lighting, I suppose. Like, for whatever reason, the light is just coming through in such a way as to hit more from here down. But, so hopefully you'll be able to see the cards well enough. I will be holding up the cards as I pull them. But again, this is group number 1, Oya. And I'm going to be shuffling here. I'm just using the Rider-Waite Smith deck. I do feel with this Page of Swords and Ace of Pentacles when I cut the deck, this person is thinking a lot about the possibilities and the potentials. I think they do feel like maybe the two of you have not really gotten very far in this connection or something. And so they're sort of exploring the possibilities in their mind. It's almost like, to give a metaphor, which you know I like to do, it's almost annoying, but like if you were planning to grow a garden, the garden isn't here, but you're thinking about all the possibilities. So what are the different things that I could grow in this garden? Where would I grow them? You know, like where would the tomatoes be in relation to the green beans or whatever, you know what I mean? How much space do I have? Like, they're like very much evaluating the potential with you. And I know the question is their sweet and sour thoughts, but that's just like the first thing, generally speaking, that I get when I'm asking about their thoughts of you. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's ask a little bit more about that, though, because that's an interesting message. Why? What is it about you that makes them think about that? Well, we get the 10 of Pentacles. So, I mean, basically, they see there could be a good harvest with you, so to speak. They see that they could have a really rich and fulfilling life with you. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Like, they see the potential. And so they project a little bit into the future, like, what could we create? They know that the potential is really wonderful, that what the two of you could create is great. But I think they're, like, going through their mind about the specifics, like what specific type of house would we live in? How many kids would we have? You know, what would our house look like? Where would we live? What, you know, like they're thinking about what your all's lifestyle would be like. Yeah, they're definitely thinking about that a lot. Yeah, I mean, I just get more confirmation of that with the Page of Pentacles and the World card. They know that the two of you are kind of close to the beginning. Like maybe you've just started dating, or maybe for some of you, you're not even dating or in a relationship yet. But they feel, I think for a lot of you, you are at the very least dating or talking or something. But they feel like there has been something here where you've both shown a mutual investment in having a long-term relationship. Maybe there have been discussions of it, or they can just kind of get that vibe that there's that chemistry there. But yeah, they're definitely like building castles in the air with this World card, like really seeing like long-term goals with you, basically. All right, so let's get a little bit more into this specific question that the pick a card reading is supposed to center on, which is what are their sweet and sour thoughts of you. So what are their sweet thoughts of you? We have Temperance and the Three of Cups. I feel like they like the fact that you're someone who can have a good time, but you also have a good head on your shoulders, right? You're sensible. You can indulge, you know, like maybe go out, have food and drinks and like have a good time, or go out to a party. But they also feel like there is a more serious practical side of you, because the Temperance card is about our ability to balance that. We're not like overdoing it. We're not overindulging. Although I think they have seen you in moments overindulge, right? Like sometimes in life, maybe we go out and we drink a lot with the Three of Cups, or like we go out and we party hard for the weekend, you know, like, or we're feasting, we're dancing. It's like when you're having a good time, you are like really having a good time, right? But they feel like you can handle it. You can handle, you're not doing it in an excessive way to the point where you're like derailing your life, right? You're sensible, you're grounded. But they do still have some sense of anxiety about this. So we're getting a little bit of a mix of the sweet and sour here. Like they appreciate that you're someone who can like party hard and like have a good time, but also like, I don't know, get to work and pay your bills, you know, like you're balanced in that way. But it also gives them anxiety. So let me see. Okay. Why does it give them anxiety? Because I think they can't handle it. I don't think they have that temperance quality. And it's almost like, you know, because again, they imagine, this is tying together. Wow. Because they're imagining what it would be like to be in a relationship with you long term. And they're like, you would probably rein them in with this Strength card. Like if they're drinking too much or whatever, indulging too much in whatever, partying, going out, drinking, you eating even, like they feel like you're someone who would rein them in and make them be more healthy and temperate, balanced, moderation. It's not like you would be like, never drink again. I mean, depending on the situation, right? Because every situation is different. Sometimes that might be the solution. But I think in this instance, they just feel like you would probably not want them to be indulging in food or drink or whatever it happens to be as much as they do, because you're more balanced with that. Yeah, like there's a difference. We have the Justice card reversed and the Two of Cups reversed. Your all's approaches are different, and they think that you would be like the sensible partner who reins in the other partner, which is them. And in any case, it gives them a little bit of anxiety. It's like they know that it's best for them, and it's like they want to do this, but at the same time, it's kind of like when you go to the gym, but you're not really in the mood to go to the gym, but you know it's what you should do, that type of thing. For some of you, maybe it's even that, like, you know, like you get them to go exercise more often or something, but whatever it is, like you're making them be more balanced and moderate in their lifestyle. Like we can't just be a couch potato all the time. Like sometimes we need to like exercise, whatever it happens to be. They know that it's best for them, and they're glad that you would do that as their partner. They're glad that you would encourage them, but it still like makes them nervous. It makes me think about like when I was in school and I had gym class, and I would like get a nervous stomach because I'm like, oh my God, I hate gym class so much. It's not that I think it's bad for me, but it's like, it's excruciating, you know, in so many ways. And so I feel like that's kind of the anxiety. Yeah, because they're very used to, being able to check out of reality, you know, in whatever it is that they're using. Maybe it's a substance, maybe it's playing video games all the time, I don't know. But they like that escape from reality. Yeah, and they feel like it's going to be hard, you know, as they imagine this future with you, it's going to be a little bit hard for them to give that up. But they do feel like it's good for them to challenge themselves as well. And they're like, you know what? I should try a different way of living. I should try a different kind of approach to my lifestyle. But, yeah. But it's just like mixed feelings about that, I guess. Like, they know that it's good. It's really fitting the theme of sweet and sour. They feel both good and bad about the fact that you would help to moderate their life in some way. This is interesting. Not the kind of information that I expected coming up, but it's very interesting. So what else do they think is sweet about you? Get the 5 of Cups. So what do they think that is sweet? I think it's kind of, again, we're kind of missing sweet and sour, because what I think it's saying is that they miss you. They think about you a lot when you're not around. So it's almost like that tells them that they do have good feelings for you. That tells them that you're really important to them, right? It gives them an insight. Okay, I'm thinking a lot about group 1 when they're not around. I miss them when they're not around. So that lets me know that I do have sweet feelings for them. I'm also getting the feeling here with something else they like about you. We have the Queen of Swords, the 2 of Pentacles, and the Tower card reversed. They like the fact that you'll admit when you don't know something. Like you as the Queen of Swords, you probably do know a lot of things, but you don't know everything because nobody knows everything, and you'll admit it. You'll be like, well, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm not certain. And with the Tower card reversed, it's like you do want to know. Like, you know, when it's upright, it can be sort of like enlightenment or something. But yeah, they do feel like sometimes you're willing to admit when you don't know something is basically what it is. And they like that, especially they like that in moments when they do know the thing. I feel like they want to be able to be someone who can give you answers to things that you don't know. It gives them a sense of confidence. I feel like this person also has a lot of wisdom. I would say that their wisdom isn't necessarily like academic type wisdom or like wisdom. It's like street wisdom almost, or like wisdom learned through the hard knocks of life. Wisdom learned through experience. But they know a lot of things because they've encountered a lot of different types of situations. They're viewing you, I think, as a little bit more of like intellectual in terms of book learning. But also they feel like one of the things that is most wise about you, like I said, is just that you can admit when you don't know something, even though you know a lot, right? And they're like, well, that's the smartest type of person, you know, like don't go around pretending you know something when you don't. Then you just end up looking stupid, actually, when everyone else is like, well, you obviously don't know what you're talking about. All right, what else do they find sweet about you? Yeah, I feel like you don't, like you're not afraid to be vulnerable or like show that you're feeling insecure. That's a certain level of confidence, I think. It takes a certain level of confidence to feel that way. I think also you've shown them that you need them. They like that in general. Whether it's like having the answer to a question that you don't know the answer to, or needing help with something, they want to be needed by you, and they like that feeling. All right. What else is this person thinking? Sweet and or sour? We get the Lover's card. I mean, this person really does see you as their partner, and they see you as their partner because the problems that they would have with you are so insignificant. Like, even when the two of you argue, it's almost an enjoyable argument. They like you so much that they even enjoy arguing with you. They like winning the arguments with you too, because we have the Six of Pentacles. It's like checkmate is just what I heard in my head. Like they feel like they have those checkmate moments with you, and they feel real proud of themselves when they do. The two of you are having arguments and they're winning the argument, or at least they're perceiving it that way, as like winning the argument. Yeah. So anyway, what would be their most sour thought of you if we had to go there? We'll end the reading on a high note. They think that you're too attractive and too confident for your own good. They feel afraid that they'll never completely have your undivided attention, or they're afraid that they will never have you all to themselves, because you're a very popular person as well. They're seeing you, and yeah, they're like, too many people want, it could be like friends or whatever. It's not that they think that you would be a cheater or something, but they do feel like you probably are a very popular person, probably a lot of people who are attracted to you. But in any sense, they do kind of feel like, yeah, you would get to be my partner, or you are my partner, so I get to have that personal relationship with you that nobody else has. But at the same time, I can never really have you all to myself. There's that feeling. So that's not, I mean, that's like a negative for them, because they don't like that feeling, but it's positive in the sense it shows how much you mean to them. So actually we did end on a positive note. All right, group one, I hope that you enjoyed that reading. I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, group two, you chose Goddess Bast, a really cool goddess who is, I think she takes the form of a cat sometimes, or she's associated with cats. But anyway, pretty cool Egyptian goddess Bast. So this is group two. Let's get into your reading. We're going to be asking, what are your person of interest's sweet and sour thoughts of you? So as I cut the deck, I've already shuffled a bit. I get the High Priestess and the Two of Cups. So I'm going to take that and keep shuffling, so you can probably hear me shuffling. High Priestess and Two of Cups. I think they feel a connection with you that is difficult to put into words. Maybe something that would be best expressed in some sort of like poetry or music or some other form of art. It's like they like expressing their feelings to you in indirect ways. Let's ask more about that. They want to stand out to you in some way. They want to, yeah, they want you to see them. Like if the two of you were in a crowd, there are other people around, they want to stand out to you as more important or more special than other people in the room. But I feel like they try to do this in almost like psychic ways, or, you know, for lack of a better word, like when you're in a room full of people, maybe it's through body language or something, or just sending a vibe, you know, like with that High Priestess card, like they try to let you know their feelings, but they try to let you know it in very discreet ways. It could be even. I get the feeling that maybe the two of you are around groups of people often. So maybe you know them from like work or school or church or some other place where there are gatherings of people. So there are a lot of times when you're around each other that it's not just the two of you and you're not alone. But they feel like you do pick up the vibe, because they're trying to send a vibe. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. They want you to understand. It's like maybe they even speak to you in a tone of voice that's a little bit different or lean towards you. It's like there's something that's like barely perceptible. Like if someone wasn't really looking for it, they might not notice it, but they whatever they're doing to make you know that they're interested in you, I think you probably pick up on it, but it's like something subtle, you know? It's not obvious like they're telling you you're hot or like asking you out. It is more subtle. And you definitely stand out to them, you know. They want to be standing out to you as well. Sometimes they do feel like there's competition, like they might feel that you're looking at someone else in the room and thinking that person's cute or something like that. And I don't know. I feel like they view you as a little bit of a heartbreaker in some ways because they see you as someone who's like maybe doesn't really need a relationship. They see you as someone who might even get a little bit bored in a relationship. Someone who might want someone around as a friend but wouldn't want to commit necessarily. This is just how they're seeing you. These are like the things that they're assuming about you, basically. The light is in my eye. Three of Cups. Yeah, there's definitely like, they want to have one-on-one moments with you, but it's very difficult because it seems like there are always other people around. So it's almost like they try to steal these one-to-one moments, like, you know, maybe if they notice the other group of people are all talking amongst themselves or something, they're like, okay, they won't notice that now I'm talking to group 2 in a personal way, you know. But they like to get in these one-to-one interactions with you when they can. Yeah, because again, they kind of want you to understand more about who they are. They want you to, what's that song like? I want you to know who I am. I don't know. It's like a 90s song. They really want to be seen by you. This is important to them. They want you to see them, to understand them, to see them deeply, to see the ins and outs of who they are. Why do they want this? They feel like the two of you are different from other people, and they feel a sort of kinship with you, like we're both different. It's making me think of that Emily Dickinson poem, I'm nobody, who are you? Are you nobody too? Well, then there's two of us, you see. There's something about the two of you. And again, we started off with that 2 of Cups and that High Priestess. It's like, even this, it would be hard to like articulate exactly what it is. It's like a feeling. It's a feeling or an instinct they have that it's like, you and I are the same in some way. You and I get each other in some way that other people are not going to get us. There's something about you and me that clicks. But could I say exactly what it is? No. But at the same time, it makes me want you to know me. And I just feel like the two of you haven't necessarily had the opportunity to get to know each other very well. And that kind of hurts this person. That's the most sour thing, is that they feel hurt that the two of you haven't really been able to get to know each other. They feel hurt that maybe it will always be that way. It genuinely hurts them, thinking maybe we'll never have that opportunity to really get to know each other. Yeah. It's almost like they found acceptance with it at this point. Again, everything is that, it's that barely perceptible high priestess energy. It's like they just have a feeling like maybe at this point it's just not going to happen. The vibe isn't right for us to really get to know each other or something. Everything is a vibe with this person. And it's interesting because I don't think, like, I feel like this person has more of an emperor personality, like out there, like an Aries type, like in your face, you know, maybe a little bit pushy or assertive sometimes, but most people wouldn't see that high priestess side of them where they're more ephemeral or like sending vibes or picking up vibes. Most people would be like, well, this person just puts it all out on the table in a very obvious and direct way. But there's something about you that pulls out more of that feeling the vibes, you know, picking up the energies type of energy. Like, you know, they can read your emotions without you saying it, and they feel like you can read their emotions without them saying it in words either. And maybe that's the difference, is that with most people they don't have that sort of emotional psychic exchange, but with you they do, and they feel that you both kind of get each other like without words. That's what's special. But I don't know, they also kind of feel at the same time that maybe you don't want to be open to that. Like, yeah, it exists, that the two of you can kind of pick up each other's emotional energy, but they really sometimes feel like you would rather that not be the case. And that's part of why I think at this point they're trying to accept, like, well, maybe we just won't have that personal, you know, connection. Maybe you won't ever really know me the way that I want you to know me, because you don't really seem to want it the way that I do. You know, they're trying to hold their head high regardless with this Six of Wands. And they're not going to stop being sweet to you. Like, every time the two of you see each other, like, I feel like going forward, like, their goal is to be sweet to you. They're like, well, at least I have this. At least I have these sweet moments. Like, this is something. But I think they're, like, sort of giving up hope on the two of you really having this Two of Cups experience. They want it, but they're like, well, at least I can be sweet to you, or, you know, hold the door, or, like, do something like we have, where we have, like, a personal exchange when I do see you. I can ask how you're doing or something like that, right? They're like grateful even for the opportunity to have that, but at the same time it really does make them sad to feel that maybe the two of you won't really get to know each other on a personal level. And it could be too, because again I was getting the feeling that you met each other in some sort of group format. Like, maybe the formalities of where it is make it difficult as well. Like, if you're at church, you know, the church is churching, the preacher's preaching, I don't know. Or like if you're at school or work, it's like there are responsibilities. Like, you know, you have to listen to the lecture, you have to do your job. You know, like, there are other things going on where there are obligations and responsibilities where maybe there's not enough opportunity to breach that and just have these personal conversations. But yeah, I mean, this person definitely feels like there have been times that they've tried to open that door a little bit further with you, and they feel, again, like you're pulled back. And, you know, I don't think they've given up hope, but they kind of are just like, well, if this is all that it's ever going to be, like, maybe we won't get to have any, like, deep, heartfelt conversations. But, like, they feel the heartfelt connection even without having those deep, heartfelt conversations. And you know what, to be honest, I think they feel that maybe they have made a mistake along the way where they could have also been a little bit standoffish. And part of it is, I don't know, like maybe that is the intuition as well for both of you, of your intuition kicking in and saying, like, yeah, maybe there is some sort of subtly nuanced vibe that the two of you have that is special. It is special, But if you both are a little bit on guard at times and like pulling back, you know, maybe it means that this is just what it's meant to be. Like, it's an experience. And there's no reason to try to worry over it. Yeah, basically, it's an experience. It's an experience. Like, you see how both of these, the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands, they're looking in different directions. It's like maybe even if the two of you did have that close personal connection, it just wouldn't last anyway, or it's not meant to be that. You are meant to be someone on each other's journey. But I don't think you're meant to be like in goals or anything like that. Or maybe even to actually date or have a relationship with or anything like that. But this is an important, the fact that you all have met each other at all is important. It's an important experience. It's an important type of connection. It's important for both of you to have this connection. You are important to each other. I think you both help each other to see what more you could do with your lives. I feel like this person wants to, like, let's say if this is church where you've met or a workplace, they don't agree with everything that the church does, or they don't agree with everything that happens at this business or workplace or school or wherever it is. And they want to prove the church wrong, or they want to prove the job or the organization or whatever it is. They want to prove them wrong. They want to show them, I know what we should do to change things and make them better. And I think they have already empowered themselves in that way to do that somehow. And something about meeting you almost like validates those choices to them. You know, like, I was right to stand up and say, we should change this about this church or this business or whatever it happens to be. And it's important for them. I think that they will stay with this church or business or whatever longer than you as well. There will be a point at which you will move on to some different aspect of your life, or maybe you won't be coming to this job, school, workplace, whatever it is, anymore, and they'll still be there. They're more fully entrenched in whatever this is. But you have impacted them, and you have impacted what they're doing here and how they approach it. Because they really are a very deeply loving person. I think you kind of help them even to see that about themselves. Like, because a lot of people wouldn't label them as a loving person. But you understand a side of them that other people don't see. And that's part of that high priestess imperceptible thing. They can just tell that you can kind of see their heart underneath that maybe tough guy exterior or whatever. Yeah. So I think we've gotten a mix of the sweet and sour. Like, I don't think they have any criticisms really of you. In terms of sour, the sour to them is just they feel sad that you're never really going to know who they are in the way that they want. That their conversations, like, they want to have so many different conversations with you, and they feel like they're never going to be able to have those conversations. That's kind of what makes them sad. But yeah, in terms of like criticisms, I'm not really picking that up. And what do they feel is most sweet about you? God, The fact that you've been through it, you're like a little stray cat that is all wet from the storm and like bruised up, and you just keep going. You don't give up. You've really been through it. I mean, look at these cards. The Five of Cups, the like disappointments, hardships, obstacles, limitations, limited resources, limited opportunities, things just going wrong. Why do they think this is the most sweet about you? Because it pulls at their heartstrings. It pulls at their heartstrings. And they know that you see that heart. Whereas, I mean, I think this is someone who actually, in general, they like to be kind and helpful to people who are going through a hard time. But because there's this also like a more of a tough guy aspect to their personality, or like an assertive, like there's something where other people don't see that like softy. Other people don't see their heart. And because they have this, like I said, this like vibe with you where they know that you can see more than the exterior. You can see within them in a way. You can see what's true about them deep down. You see their heart. You see that like this is someone who like really deeply cares. Like they have a big heart. A big heart. And you know that they really care about people. And I feel like this is someone who, they may not have that much to give themselves, but they know that they can bring peace into other people's lives in some kind of way. Like, you know what, life is tough, but maybe I can soften the blow in some kind of way, make things a little bit better for you. Anyway, the thing that they like most about you is being able to be kind to you. They like being kind to you. And I don't know. I mean, like I said, like for one thing, that vibe that they have with you is something that's hard. It's imperceptible. It's just, it exists. You know, I would say, I feel like the two of you just barely even know each other. Anything else to say to group 2 before I move on? Yeah, this person has a hard shell exterior that puts them at odds with a lot of people. Like a lot of people don't get this person. They see this as almost like a troublemaker, or someone who's like argumentative, or like, why are you always trying to cause problems or cause tension or like upset the balance of peace in the room? But you like gave them a chance. It's like you took them with a grain of salt. You saw those aspects of how they presented themselves, but you saw beneath that and gave them a grain of sand. And you're like, I know that's not who you really are, you know? And like that meant so much to them. It meant so much to them because I don't think that's who they want to be. But I think they did learn along the way in life to use that as a shield, you know, that bristly, like maybe kind of cocky, bristly attitude. That's a shield. But you saw past it from pretty close to the beginning of when you met. And that's why they love you. You know, they may have even been like bristly to you, but you still gave them a chance. Like, you could see that that wasn't really how they wanted to be, and that's not who they really were. And you were right, you know, and that they really appreciate you so much for that. So I think that's all I've got for you, Group 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello, Group 3. You chose Goddess Nut. A great choice. She has an interesting name. This is an Egyptian goddess. And I believe what her myth is that one of her sons is the sun, and her other son is like this giant snake. And so in her mythology, the one son who is the giant snake eats the sun every day, and that brings night. And then the sun is sort of reborn every morning. So she's about resurrection or rebirth, or like every day that we wake up, we have a new chance, right? Every day is a new day. It's kind of what her energy is. But anyway, an interesting goddess that you chose, Group 3. So let's get into your reading. Just going to shuffle my tarot deck here. Oh, we've got the Tower and the 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. I'm going to keep shuffling though. But in the first two readings, when I cut the deck, it ended up being significant. I feel with that Tower and the 10 of Pentacles, so your person of interest, one of the things they think about you is that I feel like maybe you, maybe both of them, but I feel like they're thinking about you as someone who is trying to maybe break old patterns within your family. Maybe resolve bad karmas or break negative patterns within your family. What is the word for this? There's a phrase for it. You're breaking the cycle. You're trying to break the cycle, I think. Yeah. 4 of Swords and the Moon card. Like you're trying to bring, maybe you're trying to bring peace to the family. Resolve issues related to family. And I feel like they think about this because they're also thinking about the potential future between the two of you, and they're, you know, thinking like, how is this going to impact things with us? They also like spending time with you, you know, like they like doing fun things with you with this 3 of Cups. I feel like they are attracted to you as a friend first. Like it could have started with friendship, or the sort of friendship aspect between the two of you is most important. Like we can be in a partnership with someone and still, like, you know, that feeling of this is my friend. Like you hear people say that, even people who've been married for years are like, I married my best friend. Like that's the vibe, you know, regardless of what your relationship status is with this person, like that aspect is important to them. Like they feel like there's this camaraderie of friendship between the two of you. I think they feel that what the two of you all have represents something that's very new for both of you. Right? Like sometimes we're going through our life and we have a lot of baggage. Like I said before, it could be baggage from your family, but maybe even baggage from previous relationships. But it's like when the two of you are together, it's like that baggage doesn't exist as much. Yeah, it does exist, but it doesn't. It does what the two of you have is its own enigma, is its own thing. You're not repeating with each other. The two of you are not repeating that baggage or repeating those patterns. You're creating a new pattern together. And they feel like that's good because they feel like both of you, you don't need to be repeating those patterns. You've repeated those patterns enough. I feel like they kind of feel like both of you are also like maybe embarking on a new phase of life. And that's what you're doing as individuals as well. But this goes back to the friendship thing, right? Where like, you know, when we're friends, we understand a little bit more. It's not like we're a unit as much as we are like, we're two individuals who are distinct individuals, but we are rooting for each other. We're on each other's team. We're on each other's side. We're like supportive of each other. But each of you is an individual who is embarking on some sort of new phase of life. And I do feel, again, Three of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, maybe both of you are embarking on a new phase that has to do with either breaking away from your family of origin or repairing things from your family or of origin, or like you've healed from some sort of hardship or loss regarding them, and you're ready for that new phase of life, whatever it is, moving forward. So I feel like they view the two of you maybe as having that in common. Like the specifics of what's going on with them and their family, the specifics of what's going on with you and your family, maybe those specifics are different, but you both are still embarking on a new phase of life in regards to those family issues. And overall, it's a positive. You're embarking on a new phase that is positive, but also still not easy. Because this new phase for both of you involves being your own person. And maybe that's something that the families wouldn't allow either of you to truly be before. It's like, now it's time for me to be my own person. Whatever that means. Maybe there's a way that you are that your family couldn't accept. Maybe your family expected so much of you that you always put yourself last. Whatever it happens to be, now you're being you on your terms for yourself. Because I feel like both of you have realized, like, it's not making things good with my family for me to deny my own self, for me to deny putting my time, energy, and resources on myself, for me to be the way that I want to be, you know, to live my life the way that I want to live it. It didn't make things great with my family, so I might as well do it anyway. Like, maybe we're just never going to get along, right? So they feel that the two of you have that in common. And I feel like, you know, when it comes to you, your presence in this person's life makes them feel a little bit more steady, a little bit more solid, a little bit more stable and grounded as they are proceeding forward in their life from here. It's like, all right, I'm embarking on this new journey of like living my life for myself, accepting the fact that, you know, there's some SHITTY dynamics in my family, and I'm going to be better off focusing on living life for me on my own terms, blah, 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 everything that I've already said. You allow this person to feel a little bit more safe and secure as they embark upon that new phase. Because they're like, I got this friend here who gets it. You know, it's like almost like going off to the first day of school and you make your new best friend on the first day, and you're like, oh man, I was so worried about going to school, and now, but I've already made this great best friend, and like, we're good. Like, I know we're going to have each other's back. Yeah. Yeah. It's like a relief to them. They're like, thank God. There's someone who makes me feel safe. Because I feel like it's, well, certainly they haven't had it from their family. And I think it's been a struggle for them, and maybe also for you, with anyone in their lives, even with people who have been their friends, for them to really feel like, yeah, this person, I can trust group 3. I can trust someone. Oh my God, finally I feel like I can trust someone. This person isn't going to be a faker. They're not going to try to take from me. They're not going to try to manipulate me. They're not going to try to use me. Oh my God, the peace. Peace. Like they just feel peaceful with you. There's no toxicity. They're like, wow, this exists. This way of being that I always thought was normal, and that's the way I was living, and like everyone was trying to manipulate me and use me, and I'm just like not being what's the opposite of not toxic? Like they thought that was normal. At some point they started realizing like they'd encountered so many people who were toxic that like, I guess being a psychopath is normal. Because I'm just surrounded by psychopaths. I can't trust anybody. You know, people will make you think that they're one thing and it turns out they're something else entirely. They can trust you. Like there's this feeling of trust. And I think they feel like part of why they can trust you is they can kind of tell that you're that person too, who can kind of spot the people who are being manipulative or whatever. And maybe that you try to avoid it or whatever, but like they're like, okay, you see it too. Maybe it even happened when the two of you were around someone who's like, I mean, for lack of a word, psychopathic, like who presents themselves one way and like actually they're very manipulative and like tries to drain people or whatever. Like they saw that you saw who that person really was, and they're like, okay, I can trust group 3 because they can see through that type of shit, you know? Something like that. But in any case, they sense with you that you don't want to choose, because people like that, the manipulative people, the toxic people, they can pull you into it because it's fun for them, you know, like to pull you into it, pull your little strings, trigger you. The person you're asking about, they're like, I don't want to be triggered anymore. I don't want to be pulled into it anymore. I just want to like, I'll just, you know, like whatever, you know, I'm not going to let it bother me anymore. And I think they feel that both of you are maybe approaching life that way more. But in any case, I would say this person trusts you. And they trust that, you know, because two people can disagree with each other, but they feel like you're not someone who's going to pretend. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to be forthright about things. So, let's see. I think that you help this person to think about, you know, because when we are someone who has been around a lot of toxic people, it can rub off on us in some ways. We start to develop maladaptive coping mechanisms, right? You know, like if you're around a narcissist so many times, like sometimes you start to pick up, like as a way of defense, like you can start to pick up some of the behaviors even of the narcissist, because you're doing it in a self-protective way, like oh, they're gaslighting me, like maybe you start doing gaslighting, you know, to try to protect yourself. I don't know. But when you start to heal from that type of thing, it requires a sort of self-awareness of like, let me be honest with myself, right? We have the Hanged Man, the Devil, and the Three of Wands. If I'm going to be legitimately a better person, if I'm going to heal and move on and like leave these patterns behind, I'm tired of these patterns. If I'm really going to do that, I have to be willing to be self-aware and to see genuinely what I contributed to the situations that were toxic, and be honest with myself, both the good and the bad. I feel, again, they view you as someone that they can share in that with. I think that they feel like the two of you can get through both the good and the bad, and just be realistic about it. You know, like, life sometimes is going to be good, life sometimes is going to be bad. In sickness and in health, in the good times and the bad. All of that. Like, they feel the two of you will still be supportive of each other. They feel this sort of security and certainty. Group three isn't going to abandon me. Group 3 isn't going to, oh, they've, you know, found someone else, so they're going to leave me. Or whatever. Like, they can trust you, basically, is what it is. And it's nice. Anything sour about you? We have the Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. I mean, I feel like they view you as a very emotionally aware person, like someone who has a lot of emotional intelligence with this Queen of Cups. Someone who's careful with other people's feelings. I don't think they see that as a negative, though. I think it's more like they are, the only negative is that they would be afraid of hurting your feelings, and they feel like you're kind of the same way, that you don't want to hurt their feelings. So that's not even a negative. So no, I don't really feel like they have any negative views of you. It's just more like, wow, I hope I don't accidentally stick my foot in my mouth and say the wrong thing and hurt Group 3's feelings. And they can tell that you also would not want to do that to them. Like, you're not wanting to hurt their feelings. Like, you're very mindful and conscientious of their feelings, and vice versa. So yeah, I don't think there's anything really negative about how they view you. But yeah, like they find you to be refreshing in the fact that they do feel like they can trust you. And I think they feel like they can be themselves around you. Like, trust you to the point of, like, being themselves. And, like, if they did stick their foot in their mouth, right, and that you would forgive them and, like, see that for what it is. Like, oh, you just stuck your foot in the mouth. My ego, I don't have a narcissistic ego that's going to be, like, go unhinged about it. It's just like, okay, you accidentally put your foot in your mouth. It's fine. Like, we can smooth it over. It's, like, not a big deal. Because I feel like they've encountered that in their family. Like, that level of, like, gaping narcissism, that if you, like, accidentally put your foot in your mouth or say something the wrong way, it's taken way out of proportion. And you're made out to be a horrible person. But or anything else for Group 3? I do feel like maybe to the 8 of Cups and then the 8 of Swords reversed. Like, I think even with the two of you, and this could be because of the two of you have been through a lot of toxic cycles, like, I would say that even though they do feel like you're a friend to them, that maybe they feel like it's still better in a way for the two of you to go off and kind of do your own thing, or, like, not spend like a whole lot of time together for some reason. I don't think they feel the need for that. And it's almost like they don't want to ruin a good thing. I would say it's that. It's not that they wouldn't want to spend time with you. Like, there is a part of them that's afraid of ruining a good thing. It's like, well, I finally found someone I can trust. I don't want to be around them enough to finally, you know, be disillusioned and realize that I can't. You know what I mean? They do have that sort of fear of, yeah. Like, I feel like I can trust you, Group 3, but what if something happens and then, just like with all these other people in my life who I thought I could trust, it turns out, actually, I can't trust you. And that would really hurt. Yeah, I think both of you are very emotionally intelligent and sensitive people. And, you know, when that's who you are, it is easy to get bruised. But like I said, they do feel like both of you are kind of entering into a new positive phase of kind of like letting go of that old stuff. Letting go of that old toxic. Those experiences, they don't have to define me forever, etc. And I think that you help them to do that. And vice versa. You're a very positive influence on each other's lives. All right. So group 3, I hope that that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.